All right, welcome back to the JELI Cards podcast, where John and I are spreading the love of the hobby. This is episode 78. You can listen to all our episodes on both Spotify and Apple Podcasts, including YouTube now. And if you are enjoying these topics, please give us a rating and a follow on both Spotify and Apple. Another early morning, John.
Yeah, man. It's getting kind of a little too much, but it's nice.
Yeah, I'm actually enjoying these super, super early recordings.
Me too. It's like I get to kind of do this to start my morning, and it's like, okay, it's a good start to the day, and then I just have so much of the rest of the day. It feels like I'm gaining most of the day back.
Yep. It's like a nice short window of happiness.
Yeah,
And then just prepare myself to just be pissed off for the rest of the day.
exactly. Pissed, stressed, depressed. I'm
Yep.
just kidding.
Yeah, no, it's good. So sorry about last week. I know it's a lot is going to be happening in these next couple of weeks, obviously for the both of us. So we're going to try to fit in as many episodes as we possibly can. Try to keep our weekly episodes rolling, but we might miss a week, like a week or two, but we'll try our best.
Hell yeah, of course.
It's adulting, man.
It ain't what I was hoping for. It ain't what I was promised.
Yeah, you know what? I don't like this. I don't want to be an adult anymore.
Exactly right.
First things before we even get into any of the topics, how do you feel about the Bears? How do you feel about the Bears? Are you happy that they fired Waldron? And do you think this should be the first time in franchise history that we fire a head coach midseason?
Okay. How I feel about the Bears is a really, really long rant that is due to happen, but I won't. I am, first of all, pissed, but to be brutally honest, am I shocked? Not even a little bit. Waldron being fired, good. Eberflus should be fired. I've said it since, I believe, 2019 when Mitch got benched. I said that the entire organization needs a overhaul. Nobody in the organization understands what it means to be an athlete, to be a competitor, to be a winner, especially.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's just beyond pathetic what's going on with the Bears organization. There is no reason that anybody could be this dumb surrounding a professional football team.
Yeah.
Three
Mm-hmm.
top 10 QB picks, or I don't know, I think Fields was maybe outside the top 10, but
No,
three first round QB
he
picks.
was like pick number 5 or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I
Three
think he
first round
was.
picks
Yeah.
who are QBs, and all of them have been mismanaged, horribly coached, thrown under the
Blamed.
bus.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And how many more times do I have to do this before I walk into Hallis Hall and demand to speak to George McCaskey?
Yeah. No, it's really tough, you know, and we went through all those years of being Chicago Cubs fans, you know,
Yeah.
and not, you know, the Cubs going over 100 years without winning a World Series, and that was tough. And you're just watching team after team after team just crap the bed. But then, you know, obviously glimpses of hope, you know, in 2003, what was it, 2008, 2009, I think somewhere around there. Of course, obviously 2015. And then, you know, we finally were able to do it 2016. But it was tough being a Cubs fan for so long. And now we've been dealing with the Bulls, you know. Obviously, you know, the Derrick Rose times were fun to watch, but they were never able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have to deal with it with the Bears. And I think this is like possibly the worst one out of all of them.
I agree.
Like the Cubs, it was, I don't know. And I don't want to say it was like, we just, you know, that's the thing, you know, 100 years, like that's just the Cubs thing. But like the Bears are frustrating because they should be one of the most dominating teams in football. And they are just so poorly coached and poorly managed. And I don't know how you have the talent that you do on the field. And I think some analysts are saying we're worse than last year.
Exactly.
And
How
I don't know
pathetic
how
is
that
that?
happens. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how you only score, what was it, 3 points against the Patriots?
Yeah, I think I saw that they haven't had a touchdown in the past like 26 drives or something like that in a row.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what they're looking at and saying like, no, this is good product, like this is good football product, like we're on the right track. I don't know what's happening, but they're all still in 85. They're not in.
Yeah, man.
We're about to be in 2025, and they're still living in 85. They're
Yeah.
still living the heydays of Ditka, and they
Walter,
can't. Yeah, and they
all
can't get
that.
past that.
Yeah, it's kind of like obviously I love the 85 Bears. We weren't around to see it, but like I understand the commitment and the joy from it, but I mean, what the hell are we doing here?
Yeah,
How could we be this bad? How can so many people be this dumb? And so, like I said, it's just I hate calling it a loser mentality, but it is a loser mentality. It's like nobody there.
it's more of like not even a loser mentality. It's more of a like I don't give a shit mentality. Like
Yeah,
I don't care. Like I don't care that we're losing because guess what? People keep showing up. We still sell out. We can
yep,
we sell tickets for $200 and they're sitting up in the nosebleeds and they still buy it.
yeah,
And what I want? What I truly want is for a game to happen and for all the owners and everybody to walk out and go, where is everybody? That's what I want. Like,
yeah,
I don't want a single fan in the stands. I
yeah,
want them to go out on a home game and that thing to look like COVID years.
exactly.
That's what I want.
That's what
But
they deserve, which
it
is
is
like,
what they deserve. And I wish the fans out there would do that. I wish they would see it the way we see it, be so frustrated and go, I'm not going to a game. Why should I go to a game? You are purposely doing this. This is not just like this is just some bad woes that are happening. No, you are purposely running this organization into the ground and you don't care.
yeah, that's
So
right.
we are the Oakland Athletics of football,
Yeah,
possibly worse. Like
yeah, man.
because Oakland like still put up like competitive like seasons. No, we don't. Like we just don't. We suck.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, good way to, perfect way to say it. Like I said, I don't want to call it a loser mentality, but it's like a lack of competitiveness. Like you said, nobody cares. Nobody cares about winning. Nobody cares about beating the Packers. Nobody cares about winning the division, winning a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what it feels like. Because if they did care, coach would have been fired like last year.
But no, I think right now should be the time that the Bears organization fires a head coach mid-season, get rid of Eberflus. I mean, listen, you got Ben Johnson, who's going to be everybody's going to be trying to get him for head coach next season. If we don't, if we don't get Ben Johnson, I might pull an Eric and refuse to watch a single. Here's the thing: if we hire another defensive head coach, I am going to refuse to watch a single Bears game next season. If it's a defensive head coach, if it's an offensive head coach, I'll give it a shot. If we do another defensive head coach, I refuse to watch it because you know what? Yeah, you don't deserve my eyeballs.
Yeah, basically.
You don't deserve these, all right? I'm not watching these. You're not getting these, man.
You wouldn't watch the Bears anymore.
No.
Yeah, I like. I had talked about it with my brothers, so we haven't even talked about what we're talking about in this
I know. I
podcast yet.
know. That was a
But
bad it was a bad start. It was bad.
yeah,
I
man.
shouldn't have done this.
Um, I said something along the lines of like, why would anybody want to come here? Like, how much? I know that the Bears are a historic franchise, and it's like, yo, you can coach the Chicago Bears to a Super Bowl, but based on everything that has happened in the last 6 to 8 years, like, what in the world is drawing you here? We have no idea what the hell we're doing. We can't develop talent. We can't scheme into scoring a single touchdown in the last 26 drives. Like, I don't know. Why would I want to leave the awesome NFL culture in Detroit and
Mm-hmm.
come to this like
Yeah.
horrible franchise?
Yeah.
So I hope we get Ben Johnson. But the sad thing is, I feel like no matter who we get, it's just going to be the same crap over and over again. So yeah, it's not looking good, but we'll see what happens. At least they fired the OC, the new
Yeah. I mean,
OC.
at
Said
least they
he's
did that.
yeah. So at least something happened instead of just sitting here being miserable every Sunday. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I hope that it turns the season around. I hope that by some miracle we beat Green Bay on Sunday and then everybody's back on board.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I love the optimism.
Exactly. Is it going to happen?
Yeah.
I'll think about it.
Well, let's talk about something that's probably still gonna piss you off. Because I told you I had one topic on here that I didn't tell you about because I wanted your initial reaction. In case you haven't heard about this, you probably have. I'm assuming you have. But did you hear about the $3.72 million O-Pee-Chee case that went unpaid for? Somebody won it on Heritage Auctions. It's a 1979 1980 O-Pee-Chee Hockey case, full case, that went unpaid for on Heritage Auctions.
I did not hear that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing on Heritage.
Yeah. So basically,
Whoa.
give you a quick rundown. I believe this auction happened back in February. They said it's not out of the ordinary for buyers to win an auction on these auction sites, and then for these companies to have the product for several weeks afterwards as they work out a way to make payments and stuff. Some can even do like a financing option and pay off over time. But so some hobbyists won it for $3.72 million, and then just never paid it. Claimed though, so apparently I was getting this off of Sports Collectors Daily. You really need to check that website out, John, because it's all it is just hobby topics, like hobby articles. It's like going on like CNN or something. Like all you're doing is just reading hobby talk.
Nice.
But supposedly in the article, I guess the guy who bought it claimed to have paid $3 million of it. But apparently he was trying to find somebody else, I think, to help cover the rest of the cost, and couldn't. And then but Heritage came out and said that they never received any payments from him.
Oh.
It just went unpaid. But they chose to not pursue legal action and just to relist it on auction. And so it's going to get put back on auctions for their winter one starting on December 5th.
Wow.
But give me your initial reaction on that, because we have talked many times, us being sellers on eBay, we go through this. I'm sure almost everybody on eBay probably goes through this on a, weekly basis. If you're selling cards on a weekly basis, eBay has gotten really bad. The hobby's gotten really bad with people buying, winning auctions and then just refusing to pay. I mean, Now eBay's given them the option to where they can just cancel it instantly. They can just, before it's ever shipped out. But yeah, give me your initial reaction on this. Is like the ultimate, like, unpaid auction.
Wow. I'm really shocked, only because whenever we talk about Heritage, Golden, Probstein, any other like massive online auction site, maybe Fanatics now too, used to be PWCC. whenever we talk about that stuff, we always talk about how nice it is to just kind of give your cars to somebody else, let them handle the sales, let them handle the shipping, let them handle insurance, all that stuff. But we also talk about how nice it is to just let them handle the payment and how trustworthy it is. Like you
Mm-hmm.
feel like for sure whatever my card sells for, it's going to get paid. So hearing that they sold the 79/80 O-Pee-Chee case for three million plus dollars and it goes unpaid. That just kind of, I don't know, it makes me feel a little bit anxious, to be honest. It makes me feel kind of upset, obviously, because like you said, we deal with it all the time on eBay. People buy cards for $3 and they don't want to pay for it, and you're just sitting there like, what the hell are we doing? Why have you not paid the
Yeah.
$8 total to get this card off my
Yeah.
hands? I can't imagine what it feels like owning that case, seeing it sell for $3 million. You start planning like so many things, like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can pay off this, I can pay off
Life
that.
changing money, like
Yeah.
absolute life changing money.
And this was back in February.
I believe
So
that's what the article said. Yeah, it was back in February.
no matter how long it's been, you've been sitting there for months thinking you have this much money coming your way. And then finally it's like, hey, they're not going to pay for it. We have to relist it.
Yeah.
Really, really shocked. I thought that the auction sites operated with like, if you don't pay, you're going to be hit with like some sort of massive fine. Like you need to, if you don't pay, we have the right to like charge you a deposit of 10% or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had no idea. I hope it doesn't happen again. I don't know if they're going to let this person or winner buy anything else on their auction site.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The way I react to eBay, I don't think they should let these people do that. But
No, no, they should. They should get at least like at the very least you should get banned for like 2 years or something like that. Like that's
right,
like what honestly that's what should happen. Like this person should get banned for life from heritage auctions. Like and here's the thing. So this 1979 1980 O-Pee-Chee hockey case, that's Gretzky rookie cards. Like
right.
that's why this sold for $3.72 million. So it's this case is believed to be the only known full case that still exists.
Whoa! Now I feel even like now I'm even more angry.
Yeah, and they say it's likely to have at least 25 Wayne Gretzky rookie cards in it.
Awesome.
So I don't know, man. If you wanna
Yeah, we
toss
better
it,
pony up, Jason.
yeah.
We got
And
to get our
you
money
know what,
together.
what's really cool is that Heritage went through this whole thing to like make sure that it was going to get authenticated. Hey, these are the legit boxes. I believe they did like have to open up the case just to authenticate the boxes. You know who did the box authentication? Baseball Card Exchange.
Oh, damn! Really?
Yeah. Uh huh.
I
They were
like
the
that.
ones that they went through each box in the case and authenticated them and said, nope, this is the real deal right here. And I
That's
was like, that's
badass.
what's up.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's what's up. But yeah,
How are you feeling?
so I mean, I'm the same way with you. Like, it's the unfortunate part of this hobby growing at such a, substantial rate that it is bringing in the wrong people into the hobby. And, like we've said, we've talked about this many times, we've sold cards on eBay where, what was that SGC 1010, the Henry Davis one, the True Blue auto that we had.
Yep.
We sold it on eBay. It sold for over $1,000, right? I think it sold for over 1,000, went unpaid for. For us and for our company, that's a lot of money. Like
Right.
anything that can get four figures, that's over $1,000. That's a good chunk of money for a startup business at the time that we sold it, right? And then we had to relist it, and it sold for less. It was
Yep.
paid for the second time, but it sold for less money. And that is the most frustrating part about it, is when you're selling like every card, even if it's a $3 card to $1,000 to $50,000, every card matters when you need profits in order to be able to buy stuff so you can sell more. I believe that there's still like I think it's still like a $3 million like minimum. I think on the case, like it has to go for that much. And they said that auction's going to start at 750,000.
Yeah.
That's obviously this is going to go. Somebody's going to buy it because the next person in line clearly, hopefully was not a jabroni, and will and will buy the box. But I'm just saying this is not going to not sell again. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like,
I
and it
agree.
probably. And you know what? I pray that people are out there feel so bad that they bid it up more.
Right. Me too.
That this goes for $4 million or something, because this is a one of a kind
Yes.
case. Like, you have a full case that you can pull potentially 25 Wayne Gretzky rookie cards. I don't know how, I don't know if you could make your money back.
That's what I'm going to go check.
That's the biggest thing. Like, I'm not sure if you can make all your money back on all 25. I'm assuming they would have to gem.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to go check. Wow. Ironically enough, I think I'd have to check the pop report because I think the number of 10s in existence are very low for PSA. But the last 10 sold on Heritage Auctions back in 2020, December 13th, 2020, for 1.29 million. So if you get three
Wow.
10s, you're probably sitting
Okay.
pretty at at least, I'm assuming at least 6 million.
Well, how much? So how much? I wonder how much a 9 then goes
A
for. Let's
9,
see. Let's
most
see if
recent,
anybody's selling them on. I guess on eBay.
most recent 9 sale, according to PSA's website, was October 1st, 2022. Heritage Auctions for $132,000.
How
So
much?
132K.
Wow, that's a
Huge.
huge drop off. Wow.
Yeah, it's
Oh
because
my god.
I'm looking at the pops now. The pop.
That's a really see, and that's the craziest thing about this hobby too, is that's such a drastic drop off from a 10 to a 9. Even in a 9, that's a crazy amount of money. But oh, you know what? I totally forgot that this is the one. You own this card.
I used to.
Or yeah, used to. You sold it, but you did own it.
Yep. How many 10s do you think there are in existence?
Didn't you say 3?
No.
Oh, I thought you said the number.
PSA 10s at least.
What's my over under?
Over under 5.5.
Jeez, less. I'm gonna take the under.
You are correct. There are only 2 PSA 10s in existence.
Wow. So this is
So
almost as rare as the 52 tops Mano.
it's a really rare card. It's more rare apparently. There's 3 PSA 10 Mickey Mantles. We
Is
better
this?
get our money together. We gotta go gamble.
Would this be? Ooh, this is gonna be a good. Would this be the second most iconic sports card in existence then?
Yeah, iconic.
In terms of, I guess, in terms of rarity, is this would it go 1952 tops Mano and then the 1979, 1980 Wayne Gretzky O-Pee-Chee rookie?
I think that's a really great question. Your top 5 most iconic cards. I think 1 and 2 are Mantle and Wagner, or either Wagner
Oh
first,
yeah,
Mantle second.
yeah. Well, see, for me, when you get into the Christy Mathewson, Honest Wagner era, come on, that's 1910s.
Yeah.
That's going to be rare.
Yes.
That, come on. But you get into the 50s when Topps was created, and you get into, closer to the 80s and stuff, yeah, eliminating those crazy, years. This has to be the second best card to collect in the hobby.
I think it is, personally. That's why I really wanted one for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I guess a really quick story / breakdown for people who don't know much about the 79/80 O-Pee-Chee Hockey. that is Gretzky's rookie year. Very similar to Mantle and Jordan. Many people have created fakes of it because I think when O-Pee-Chee used to make the cards, they cut their sheets with basically a wire or a string. And as more sheets were cut, the edges on the card just became super jagged. Or I don't know if that's the right word to use, but not very sharp. And it's extremely difficult to get a PSA 10, obviously, because of that. Cards are often off-centered. The edges are worn. Corners are bad, like almost all the time, because of the way that the cards were cut back in the day. So it's PSA has graded 11,421 of this Wayne Gretzky rookie, and only
Seems like a
two of them.
lot.
Two of them are a PSA 10.
That's
And I
crazy.
just want to make sure I get this right. Yeah, there's only two PSA 10s. There's only 95 PSA 9s.
Wow.
So I'm telling
How
you,
many
man,
eights? How many eights?
822.
Pretty low because
Yeah.
eights are five figures.
Yeah.
So on eBay, if you get an 8, you're gonna sell that card for over 10 grand.
Yeah. So I hope, like you said, I hope that this case sells for even more than what it went for. But the real question is, Jason, do you open it? Do you open the boxes and go Gretzky hunting? Or do you keep it sealed? Yeah, of course you open it.
You're opening the case, man. What?
F
Like
it.
I'm opening this case and I'm ripping every box.
But
100%.
it's the last case, according to what Heritage said.
Hey man,
Yeah,
like
screw it.
like I am 100% opening this case. Like that's what I'm doing.
And back in the early days of John being a sports card collector, it was so much fun, like looking into this Gretzky card and trying to find one for myself, saving up money for myself, and I hope one day I can buy another one. I really do, because there's like so many cool stories, like the first print of the cards, like on the back of the card, there's like two blue streaks going through because of the ink. Um, I think there's some other weird stuff to kind of make sure you can distinguish real versus fake. It's just, I don't know. It kind of just thinking about the card brought me back to my early days of collecting, where it's almost like reading folklore when it comes to sports cards. It's like, damn, so many people were really buying up Gretzky, and I've always wanted this card, and I want it. I want to get it, and yeah. Anyway,
Well,
awesome.
do you think, I mean, I know because I know you when you bought yours, you bought it from a Canadian grading company. Well, like
Yeah,
you bought it graded from a Canadian grading company. And obviously you went and then sent it to get switched over to PSA, right? No.
yeah.
Who'd you do it with?
I tried to do PSA, and I had put a okay, really quick hobby discussion when usually I think we've talked about this before. The thing you need to do if you're trying to cross over a card, 99 times out of 100, you're supposed to crack it out of its original case and just send it raw to a PSA. But for my cards of this magnitude, I was way too afraid to try to crack it.
Yeah.
So I had tried to cross it over with PSA to try to get a PSA 9. Got rejected. I then sent it again, trying to get an 8.5. Got rejected. And then after that, I was just like, okay, I'm just going to leave it in the KSA case. But funny story. So, man, we're going on too many tangents. When I first bought the card, um, like we have always preached, if you're going to buy a card, always search pop reports to make sure that this card is actually authentic. So when I bought that card, I had searched it on the KSA website. It wasn't there. So I emailed KSA and I was like, hey, I'm trying to make a really big purchase, probably the biggest purchase of my collecting life. I can't find this on your website. And I gave them the cert number, and somebody actually responded to me like, hey, that is actually graded by KSA. It's true. And then they added it to their pop report like website.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so that happened to me a couple times with KSA. It happened with me with SGC back in the day because I was looking at SGC vintage cards and I was emailing them saying, hey, this isn't coming up. Can you authenticate / make sure this is actually graded by SGC?
Yeah.
And they responded saying, yep, it's real. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Just like a small story about when I bought the card. But the reason that that card is available to be found in KSA's thing is because I emailed them and said, "Hey, I'm trying to buy this. Please let me know I'm not being scammed out of thousands of dollars."
Well, because the reason why I'm asking too is because as as we're flipping through, I'm looking at some of these, and obviously, like some of the KSA like fives are like, a KSA 5 sold on November 11th for $895, and I'm just thinking to myself like a 4, a PSA 4 went for 960. I mean,
Yep.
are you better off just buying one of these lower grade like KSAs and hoping that maybe it jumps like a grade? I mean, obviously
Yes.
it's a huge risk. It's like you were trying to do. It's a very big risk, and these I don't know if KSA is like a like lower caliber of a grading because it's a Canadian brand. It's probably used a lot more like for like in Canada. Obviously back then, of course, it was probably used a lot more. But like an SGC 5 went for 1,058. So
Nice.
like even if you crossed it over and it got the same grade, you actually might make slight, you might break even. I don't know how much does it cost to cross over? Like if you just sent it like actually in the slab.
So they charge you no matter what, even if it doesn't cross over. But
Yeah.
it depends. It
Which
depends
is
on
complete bull jive.
exactly right. So it depends on what level you send it. Like if it depends on the price of the card, the declared value of the card is what you're going to get charged. If you cross it over and it gets a 9, and they're selling for like 100 something K, they're going to definitely charge you a lot of money for that, which
Yeah.
pisses me off so much.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's I mean honestly that's like such a awesome. I love that you did that. I love that you take like big risks like in the hobby. I mean, it's like it's kind of what you have to do, and yeah, like, again, like that is like the unfortunate thing is that sometimes you do have to take big risks when it comes to cards like this, but even somebody graded one in a CGC.
oh man,
But the CGC 5.5 still sold for $1,107 in a 5.5. And it
that's awesome.
looks, let me see.
That's,
Nah,
yeah,
actually it looks a little rough.
that could be an episode right there, like a hobby discussion. Are we down to buy up non PSA graded cards, crack them, send them to PSA, try to get higher grades and sell them in
I
PSA
used to
slabs for
always say
profit?
buy GMA 10s
Yeah, yeah,
and cross it over and see if it like see how the grading is, like how close of of a grade a GMA 10 is versus a PSA 10. I mean, if he's over there like grading 10s and then crossing them over and PSA's like, yeah, this is a 10. Hey man,
yeah,
there's a very big significant difference in a GMA 10 versus a PSA 10. Like you're going to get that card for cheap compared to what the PSA 10 is. I mean, it is like I mean obviously you there's a like we said there's a big risk when you're buying other graded cards from different companies and then your intent is to crack it out of the case and resend it. Like you can end up damaging the card or
yep,
things like that, or you just kind of risk like in not getting a similar grade or getting less of a grade. That's
exactly.
obviously could happen as well. But a lot of people do that. A lot of people do that in the hobby where they get a certain grade and they go, I don't like this grade. I'm gonna crack it. I'm gonna send it to this company. I know I've seen a lot of like the influencers, on YouTube where they'll give their card to PSA. It comes back a PSA 7. They go, this ain't a 7. I'm cracking it. I'm gonna send it to BGS, and then BGS gives it a 9. Now they just increase their value. I
Hmm.
mean, it's
Or they
just
send it right back to PSA, and some other PSA workers like, oh, okay, this is a 9 today.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I know, but yeah, I wanted to get your initial reaction, on this because I'm actually shocked that you didn't hear about this like topic. Like I'm pretty surprised. JK, I'm assuming had to have known about this.
Yeah, right,
If he
probably.
if he didn't know, then he's not a true hockey collector. Got him.
Roasted. Yeah.
God, he ain't even here. Got him. But I wanna also move on to because again reading. I'm telling you, please go on Sports Collectors Daily. Just read, man. It's okay. You
I
know.
can't read. What? What are you talking about?
I saw that there was an article, or part of an article was talking about the national coming up in 2025, and this is something that we've talked about numerous times. We even talked about it with Clayton, of Medalist Breaks, just the future of the national. So apparently, for the 2025 show that's going to be here in Chicago, Rosemont, they are adding 75 new tables, and all of which are going to new dealers on the waiting list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, here we go with the claps.
It's about time
About damn time.
that the National lets in some new blood. And I'm sure, hey, if you are going to the National and you got a table, you're welcome. Because the National listened to our podcast and they were like, wow, Jelly's making some really good points.
Yeah.
Clayton made some really good points. I think we need to expand the show and add in some new tables. So You're welcome, Hobby.
They definitely didn't listen to anybody else. They're like Card Collector 2,
Yeah.
Cards HQ,
Yep.
JELI Cards.
Yeah,
They
sports
know
card
what they're
nonsense.
talking about.
None of you guys.
Yeah.
You guys aren't, we got to listen to the Jelly Cards podcast. They have 15 reviews on Apple, man. These guys know what they're talking about. One of which is John's brother.
Oh my god. But yeah, man, it's about damn time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome that they're gonna give it, and especially that they're giving it to new dealers, because I would hope that these new dealers are modern collectors or have a little bit more ultra modern. Yeah, here's the thing.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Here's the thing. It's great that you're giving it to new dealers. We just don't know who the dealers are going to be. We don't know if they're just, if they're still going to be, hobbyists with, baseball memorabilia, like, stuff like that. Do they have sports cards? Is it just a memorabilia, collector? Is it vintage? We don't know. Hopefully it is ultra modern, because that's just the way the hobby's moving. It would be nice to see a little bit more ultra modern. I hope maybe one of them's a hockey collector. Maybe
That'd be sweet.
Maybe it's somebody who's bidding for this $3.72 million case, that has some sweet young guns or something like that. What's your thought on it? I know you're not crazy happy, because they also stated that Rosemont's going to be utilizing the upper level, which is another thing you said on previous episodes, talking about like, hey, they should use it, but I know you're not too happy with them like extending the floor plan though.
Yeah. So, okay. Initially, great point. That's what my question was going to be. It's great that there's going to be 75 new tables, new dealers, kind of like being involved in the national. That's awesome. But my initial thought was that, like, is it going to be people on the waiting list who are strictly vintage? Is it going to be people on the waiting list who are strictly memorabilia, strictly whatever? I hope that it is kind of a mixture of both, but majority of the mixture is modern, is ultra modern, because of that's just kind of what most of the people there are looking for and what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it includes more hockey cards. I hope it includes more soccer cards. I hope it includes more F1 cards. I hope it includes more, Yu-Gi-Oh
Pokemon cards, yeah.
Pokemon cards.
Yeah, more TCG.
Yeah, I hope it includes sellers like that. But
a whole table dedicated to Lorcana.
Yeah, why not? Go for it.
Did you? Oh, sorry. I'm gonna cut you off real quick. Did you see the Mickey Mouse card that sold? The one of one Mickey Mouse, like Topps Chrome.
Oh God, I'm assuming it sold for a lot.
It was graded. I can't remember what the grade was. Maybe it was a PSA 9 or something. It sold for $500,000. A 101 Mickey Mouse, like Topps Chrome. Sorry, I just thought of that right now. Keep going with your thought, but
yeah. But okay. So the reason that I said I'm like kind of a little bit upset that they are actually doing what we said is that I want first of all, the national is a lot. It's very overwhelming. You're just kind of doing your best to make sure you hit every single table, which is almost impossible to do if you can only make it one day. You have to go
Yeah,
for a full
you
weekend.
got it. Yeah, you almost
So,
would have to go like all every single day.
yeah, yeah. So I uh, I want them, if they're going to do what they're going to do, I want it to be better structured. I want it to be better organized. If I could do it my way, I want memorabilia and breakers slash like sports card companies all to be on the upper level. Like if you want to go to Tops, if you want to go to Panini, if you want to go to some breaker, if you want to go look at memorabilia, you can go upstairs. But if you are here strictly for cards, I want all of that to be downstairs
Yeah,
because I feel like if they're gonna if they're gonna expand, I would rather that Breakers Pavilion be shrunk down to like maybe one or two booths or whatever you want to call it. Like Whatnot and Fanatics Live should be the only breaker thingy there. And I want the remainder of the stuff to kind of go into new dealers because, like I said, it's overwhelming to begin with. But now there's 75 more new tables. There's an upstairs and a downstairs, and you're kind of just like paranoid that you missed something, and I hate that feeling. I
yeah,
hate the feeling that I walked the national and I might have missed a Nico Horner rookie somewhere.
of
But yeah,
course.
yeah. How
You almost probably gonna need now if they are going to expand it, which they said they're going to. They're going to utilize that upper level because last time it was in Rosemont, they utilized the upper level for to check the tickets, and then you go down the escalator, and then you get into the main floor. I mean, you almost now kind of need like 3 days. Like you're gonna need. I
exactly?
think now you might even need more than 2 days to at the national because if they're expanding it by that much, which means you're not just the whole upstairs is not just going to be 75 tables. Like I mean,
Exactly.
75 tables. I can't imagine is going to take up the entire like upper level. So it's probably going to be a lot, but I think that's where they're placing all these new dealers is on the upper level. Yeah, I mean it's good that they are expanding, but
Definitely.
make it make sense. You got to make it make sense. You can't just have everybody kind of tossed around where it's a confusing floor plan. And I think that's like the biggest thing that it's not necessarily a bad thing that you're making it bigger because the
Yes.
hobby is growing, but you need to make it make sense in a way that yeah, if you're gonna have like a corporate area, make that entire area just corporate, push them off on like somewhere off on the side on the main floor, whatever. That's their whole corporate area. You put all the breakers, don't have any tables there, because then it gets too like it gets too crowded and too chaotic in those areas to where I'm trying to like look at these tables, but then there's this massive line
Yeah.
waiting to get to Tops because they're giving away free packs or some other you know what I mean, like, and
Yeah.
now I can't look at these tables, and then you're not benefiting these
Yeah.
vendors who are now sitting across from this corporate area. So make that a certain area. Yes, make a vintage area, make a breakers area, make a ultra modern area, make a TCG non-sports area, and I think it would be great. And then you can even do it to where you can have these like extravagant like entrances, like this TCG Pokemon area. So like I know I'm going into there, and it is nothing but fun. There it is. It's nothing but
Fun.
TCG. Yeah, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. F is for friends who do stuff together.
Yeah. I think
Um,
that's a great idea.
yeah, yeah. So, but yes. By the way, that Mickey Mouse card. So yeah, it was a 2023 Disney 100. So it's a Topps Chrome from Disney 100. Mickey Mouse Superfractor 101. It was graded in a PSA 9. Sold on October 30th for $500,000. Yeah, and it's the all time high for any Mickey Mouse card. 2023. That's crazy.
I agree.
2023 is the ultimate, like is the all time high,
Yeah. I
and it's a I mean and it's a I mean yeah, yeah, it's a 101, but it's a 2023 Disney 100 card. Like I'm sure there's probably some sweet Mickey Mouse cards out there from back in the day, like
I know. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think here too.
500 grand, man. Mickey Mouse.
How do you feel? Do you think it's gonna stay valuable? You think it's gonna increase in value?
No, I think whoever bought this is probably has some like
Massive collection.
yeah, I mean, just a avid collector, and was probably like, no, I need this because this is a sweet, sweet card to have.
Okay.
I mean, it just really shows just like, how great the hobby is that, cards like this, like Mickey Mouse, like,
Yeah,
Mickey
that's
Mouse
awesome.
up there with some pretty valuable cards now. Like I mean, you were halfway to $1 million on this card. I don't
Yeah,
think that unless Disney hits like another just milestone year, and then maybe they
yeah,
could do it. But yeah, getting back on track. Yeah, I think I like the idea that they're adding 75 new tables. I like that they are expanding. I do like that at least that they're going to utilize the upper level. So at least it should feel a little bit more open. It shouldn't feel as crowded. And of course, it being back in the Rosemont area, right outside Chicago, it's just a better location. So I think the National is gonna be
pretty
sweet.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be really, really cool. So
exactly. And I just agree with everything you said. I think that expanding, adding more tables is great because, like we talked about, it just I don't I don't want to be crowded. I don't want to be like, hey, in the midst of 40 vintage tables, there's one modern table and everybody is at that table
yeah,
because you just feel like you're missing out on stuff. I want them to expand. I want them to include new dealers, and I want them to, most importantly, just get organized. I want it to be like an easy, fun experience for people who are there for every part of the hobby. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I think this is just the beginning. I'm assuming that as the hobby continues to grow and more people are really interested in selling at the National, will they add more tables? Will they kind of take away tables from other people? I don't know what they're going to do, but I think it's nice to see that they're making some changes that hopefully should be better for the people in the hobby.
yeah. And I really, like obviously, like trade nights are gonna be
Oh yeah.
crazy. Trade nights are becoming. I mean,
Oh
almost
my.
everybody now are doing trade nights. There's so many hobby shops that do trade nights. Almost every single show that happens has trade nights. Um, that's becoming a major thing. But I still personally, like we talked about before, I personally still think they need a buyer's night.
Uh huh.
A buyer's night for people who want to sell their cards to the vendors. Like any vendor who says they're willing to buy can set up or even not even maybe a buyer's night, a buyer's room. Like you
Yeah.
can still do it while you're at the show, but have a separate section to
Yes.
where, hey, if you want to, like, I can dedicate, like if we were set up at the National, I could be like, hey, John, go, you're going to work the buyer's room today for, X amount of hours or whatever. Like, hey, go sit in there for 2 hours and see what we can get. Like
Yeah.
you can do that to where, hey, from this time to this time, vendors are going to be buying. Go to this room if you want to try to sell your cards.
Agree.
You're not allowed to do it at the tables anymore. If somebody approaches you and be like, hey, you want to, you look at these cards, be like, hey, sorry, like that's over there.
Yes.
And then they can move because yeah, you're taken away from the number one reason of going to it, which is buying from the actual vendors. Like not the
Yes.
vendors buying your cards. Like
Yeah.
the reason why you're there is to look at these cases and to find some sweet deals and to buy some cards. Like it's not just to go there. And I think a lot of the mentality of it is people are going to these massive shows and they have no intention of buying any cards. Or what they're hoping is that people are gonna buy their cards and then they'll turn around, maybe take that money and buy something else. But if your intention of going to not even just the National, any sports card show out there, Charlotte show, Atlanta, wherever you're going, Dallas, Burbank, Like if your intentions are simply to just I'm going there just to sell my cards, like come on.
Not cool.
Not cool. No, no, it's not cool. Like, because
Yeah.
now you're wasting so much time. You're wasting the vendor's time. You're wasting our time because we can't. Now I have to sit there and wait 20 minutes while he flips through junk wax or whatever you got. You
Yeah,
know what I
right.
mean? So
I think that's a phenomenal idea. I hope that's the next step. I hope that it's like I like that you called it Buyer's Day, or basically like a buyer's night. I think they should do that. I think every vendor, if they can, if they have multiple people running the booth, one person should be dedicated to buying cards from the public, and they need to be in their own section. Kind of like how Cards
yeah,
HQ did it, which was really nice. Like if you
yeah,
want to sell cards, you need to go to this person, and please like move to the side so I can kind of sell the cards to the people who are here to buy them. I don't know if they can make it a room. I don't know if they can make it a certain time. I don't know if they can make it a certain day, but I think that'd be great. And it, like you said, it kind of helps with the flow of things. It helps with people who are just there to buy cards from vendors, there to like shoot the wind, shoot the breeze with people there,
yeah.
like talk to vendors. Because 9 times out of 10, you go to a table that's bumping, and that the person who's selling the cards is talking to somebody else who's trying to sell them their cards, and you're just like, oh, I guess we're going to be here for about 20 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, and it's a big thing, especially when you can't dedicate, when you can't be there for 4 days. Like,
Yeah.
if you can't go every single day, of the national, yeah, it's a huge letdown. But I think going forward, I think the national is gonna kind of realize, some of the hiccups that they do run into. Especially, I think Cleveland, even though the Cleveland National was great,
Yeah.
what an awesome time, that we had there. But I think it kind of really opened the eyes to the National that, hey, we're a lot bigger than what we thought when when people were bidding back, X amount of years, before it happened. And
Yeah.
now that, we need to make sure that we are keeping ourselves in these big convention centers, like you said, like you being afraid that eventually it's gonna outgrow Chicago, and that it's not, Chicago might not even be big enough for it, and that we might end up at somewhere in Vegas, or New
Yep.
York's probably got it, where they did the first Fanatics event, things like that. Like unfortunately, the Nationals just never going to go to Charlotte. They
Yeah.
just, it's the Nationals never going to probably end up in Charlotte. I think Dallas, you can obviously have the National at Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's gonna. They have a big enough convention center. If they do the Dallas Card Show like multiple times a year, I'm sure you have a big enough venue that you can host a national. And I think that they're going to realize that, hey, as each year goes on, they're going to fix this and fix this and fix this to one day we're going to be like, okay, now we have it under control. So
Yes. And now the National is for sure the show you want to go to if you want to get involved
yeah,
in the hobby.
it's gonna be fun to watch them compete with Fanatics. It's going to. I mean, it
Can
could.
they? Ugh.
I mean, well, here's the thing. Fanatics still sets up at the National, so they probably don't want to ruin their relationship that they have to where, because if they are setting up at the National, I mean, Fanatics still understands that right now they are like, it's like the Nationals, like the WWE, and Fanatics is like AEW.
Nice.
It's looking as if they could take over, but I don't think it's going to happen, because I just think, leave the National to be the number one sports card show, because then it's not like the National doesn't do little mini shows.
Right.
You know, Fanatics, they're going to do their main Fanatics events, but then they also are doing multiple ones. I think obviously they canceled the Orlando one because of like, the hurricanes that came through over there, but they're still going to be doing, multiple small shows. I wonder if Fanatics is ever going to come to Chicago and do one.
Why wouldn't they? Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
they will.
right. I mean, eventually it would be awesome to like be able to go. And I wonder how long it takes to be on the waiting list of the National. Like, can we just put our name down?
Right.
Like, can we just put like jelly cards on the waiting list and see how long it's going to take to get to the national?
And then they call us next day and like, yeah, if you want a table, it's 10K.
We have one card in the case.
Click.
I don't think it's 10. Do you really think
Wrong
it's
number.
10K? You
No,
think
I
it's
have no
10?
idea.
I mean, it's probably like, I'll
At
bet you
least the
you're probably
grand.
going to, that's what I was going to say, at least $1,000 to have one 8-foot table. We don't need two 8-foot tables. We just need, give us a little, give us a little one of those Fisher Price plastic ones, man.
Right.
That the little kids sit at.
Yeah,
We'll set
exactly.
up there.
With the kids'
We're all just
table.
like hunker down, like,
Yeah,
look at our
exactly.
cards.
Yeah. Oh man. But I
But
don't know.
honestly, do you think we should just toss our name on the waiting list?
Why not? Hey man, I
Like
love doing card shows, so
yeah.
uh, the goal
There's
obviously is we have to
yeah.
make our money back, otherwise it's a loss. But I
Hey,
don't
you
care.
know
I'll do it.
what? If we were able to experience the national like one time as vendors and we took a loss, I'm okay with that.
Me too.
Because
But
the experience and the exposure is probably what matters most. Like truthfully, I mean, just to have that exposure for your business, all these people from across the world, really. I mean, coming and seeing it, like, imagine just having Toasty like smack dab,
yeah,
I have like kind of fantasized about it and like dreamt about um like how I would want to like set up our booth and stuff. Like I would really want, if we were able to do it, I would really kind of want to go all out and like make it like an eye popping, like where
yes,
people are gonna see it and they're gonna have to like stop at our booth.
yes,
It's on here, man. We just need something to happen for us. We need
yeah,
something to happen because it's all in here.
yeah.
I
I need
have
to
I have the
unlock
thoughts.
Jason's
Like,
mind.
yes, I'm telling you right now, I have ideas. It just somebody needs to give us the breakthrough that hey, Jelly Cards is one of the top companies out there and people need to see it.
Hell yeah, I
You
agree.
know.
I think that if we ever got to selling at the national, I would want to make it exciting. I would want to make our booth like irresistible. Like you have to go stop
Yeah,
at Jelly
you
Cards. They
have to
got
stop at the Jelly
awesome
Cards
cards
booth.
over there.
Yeah.
All that. Yeah.
Just
I
the
don't know
look
if
of it, like, yeah.
yeah. I don't know if it's like, do you have to pay per day, or do you think you could just buy one table and you can be there the whole time? Because I feel like I've heard where people are. I know Eddie mentioned it once, like one day I'm going to be selling at the National with this guy, but the following days I'm not going to be there. Like I don't know if you can buy a table for a day or you have to buy a table for the entire weekend.
That's I would assume it's for the entire weekend
Me too.
because then it's like then you're just gonna have this empty table unless somebody comes in after you
That's what
and
yeah.
uses it on like a different day. So possibly, but I would assume if you're gonna go to the national, you got to be set up for the entire time.
Yeah, that'd be so much fun.
Oh man, I mean, like an entire 4 days dedicated to just like talking shop, talking hobby, talking cards, sports, whatever. Like, there's nothing
Yeah,
better. Like,
agree.
honestly, there is nothing better. There needs to be, and we can end on this. There was a whole nother topic that we were supposed to talk about,
Yeah, what the hell?
but and it's a really good one too. I really like the topic that you wanted us to talk about. We'll save it for next week because I actually think it's a great topic that will take up a lot of time. Um, but I really think that there should be, and someone, I probably shouldn't say this live on the podcast because someone might steal my idea. I really think like MLB Network should have a sports card segment, like a
I think
baseball card segment.
I think
Like,
they do.
dude, like MLB Network has
Yeah.
a baseball card segment? I don't think so. Do they?
They might. I feel like
If
I've
they don't, I really think there should be like, just even if we were on at like 3 a.m.
Oh, you want us to be on the segment?
Yeah, man. I think yeah,
Uh,
to be on the segment where it's like where it's just, hobbyists out there who are talking about, each game, like the games that are going on for the week, and then we're relating it to sports cards, like, giving everybody breakdown of, hey, this is what the markets are looking like. These are the players that you could be keeping an eye on. Like, Freddie Freeman had this huge game in the postseason. This is what his market's now showing. Like, I think that would be sweet.
That'd
Like,
be fun.
absolutely cool.
Damn.
And I think
like
a lot
that
of
idea.
people, would tune into that and watch that, and it would be great. And then, it would just be, but it's just like, it's just us.
Yeah, it's just regular Joes.
It's just regular Joe. It's like average Joe's talking about cards and giving you our opinions on markets, and then we're chilling. We're going to the All-Star games. We're on the field taking grounders.
Dude, I'd have so much fun. I want to participate in the softball game. I really do.
Yeah, that would be
man.
sweet.
That would be... Damn, Jason. I completely agree. I think that'd be amazing. It'd be so much fun to do it. I don't know if... I'm assuming we'd get at least some people who would be interested in watching it.
I think a lot of people would be interested in watching it.
Yeah. And then the haters will start rolling in. These guys don't know what they're talking about. They won't stop talking about the Cubs. these idiots.
You gotta buy into Nico. I'm telling you. Buy every Nico card out there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think that's a really great idea. I think, someone might steal it if it doesn't already exist. I think it'd be cool.
I'm sure somebody out there has like brought up that idea before. I doubt that like we're the only people that are coming up with great ideas.
Quote unquote great ideas.
Yeah. Somebody might laugh in our face and be like, "This segment sucks.
Exactly.
These guys don't know what they're talking about." You guys were supposed to go for 30 minutes. You talked for 5 minutes. You talked for 5 minutes and then just stared at the camera.
And then just 25 minutes goes by. All right, come back next week for episode 2 of the Jelly Cards MLB podcast.
Yeah, I think that would be good. But we can end there because I don't even know what we were talking about. We went on so many tangents today.
It's all your fault. Just bringing up random stuff all day.
You know what really ruined it was the Bears talk, and I shouldn't have done that.
That's okay.
But you know what? I can't go on social media right now without seeing every single sports show talking, just ripping on the Bears, and I love it. I hope they're all sitting back. I hope Eberflus can't even turn his TV on. I hope Poles can't even turn his TV on, because if he turns it on, he's going to be seeing even just regular newscasters like ripping on the Bears. Like, I love that. And I hope that they're just like, click the TV. Okay. Like, we're not watching that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what.
But all right, man, you can take it away. We can end there.
Okay. Final thoughts. This podcast episode. Thank you everybody for listening. We started off with our Bears ranting. If you are a fellow Bears fan, I'm sorry. It's just kind of the way our life has become, unfortunately, and it's not fair. It's not right. We moved on from that. We talked about the heritage auctions. We talked about hockey cards and just kind of the history and vintageness of hockey cards and Gretzky rookies, the O-Pee-Chee case. I'm kind of curious to know what other people think. If you bought that 1979/80 O-Pee-Chee Hockey Case, are you ripping it like Jason wants to, or are you keeping it sealed so that it can kind of just, I don't know, hopefully grow in value? I really want to know what people think, so please reach out to us about that. After that, we talked about the National, which is kind of nice. We are excited that they're adding tables, another great hobby discussion. If you're out there, how do you feel about it? Do you think that adding tables is great? Do you think that they're going to kind of utilize this new floor plan, or just basically plan of attack that they have, and kind of make sure that the people in the hobby are really enjoying the National? So please reach out. We touched on a lot of stuff, good or bad. We are at Jelly Cards, JELICARDS, on Instagram, on X, aka Twitter, on YouTube now, thanks to Jason and the podcast platform that we have. You can find us on YouTube as well. Please, if you enjoyed the podcast, give us a rating, give us a follow. Jason joked about it. My goal for the end of the year was 50 ratings. We are still stuck at 15. I want 50. We're at 15. So Hey, there's still hope. We still got a month and a half left, but
Yeah.
please, please, please rate the podcast. We really would appreciate it. I would love it personally. So thank you, everybody. Hope we have an amazing weekend and an awesome week ahead. And yeah, as always, keep spreading the love of this hobby from your friends at JELI Cards.